Okay, guys, Money Duck here. I'm not sure. I know a lot of you know who I am. Some may not. So, what I'm going to do today is go over a tool that's in TradingView already. Okay, and I'm going to show you a different way to use it. Okay, there's a position tool in TradingView. You can do long position, short position. That tool's limited. You put it on the chart where you take the trade. You pull the stop down, whatever that stop is. If you want a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio, well, then whatever your stop is, if it's out 50 ticks, well, then you put 100 ticks in the profit target. And that's how you use that tool. Once it hits that profit target, you may choose to leave runners on. That's what we do. So you have to keep moving the tool out. Okay. Or you just leave it on there, whatever. So I'm going to show you a different tool I like a little bit better. And I'm going to show you how to set it up, how to use it on your chart. And I'm going to get right into it. Okay. So let's move over to the charting. All right. Let's shut that off there. Okay. So this is Bitcoin. So I traded 2 trades on Bitcoin today, and I'm going to go over them. Now, we trade, here's how we trade. We're on the 3-minute to take trades. Okay. That never changes. However, we look at the 4-hour, 1-hour, and 15-minute time frame. We look at the higher time frames to see what's going on. We want to trade in the direction of those trends. How is the 4-hour? What's the 4-hour in? Is it bullish or bearish? 15-minute, 1-hour? What are they? Okay. So what we do is the way this indicator works is not the one I'm showing you. This is a signal indicator. Is if the 4-hour is green, if it's bullish, you're only going to buy. You're only taking buy signals. And if the 4-hour time frame is bearish, we're only looking to sell. That's basically how it works. We're taking trades from 7 a.m. to noon. So if you look at the yellow lines on my chart, there's 7 a.m. and over here's noon. We stop taking new trades at noon. We don't enter a new trade. It's pretty plain and simple on that, right? We just don't enter a new trade. We would look for a reverse signal, a pullback signal to actually get out and close our trade, or we close at end of day, whichever happens first. That's how we manage our runners. Okay. So here's the tool as it looks on the chart. Okay. Again, you have the position tool, right? Let me grab it. Let me shut that off. So you have a position tool, which you're going to put where you trade, where you take the trade. You know, you're entering here, right there, right? It signals you're going to buy because all 3 time frames, 15-minute, 1-hour, and 4 hours says to buy. You're going to buy because the 4 hours already green. Over here, 15-minute, 1-hour, 4 hours says to buy. What do? We buy. This red 15-minute said retracement. We don't do anything on a 15-minute turnaround. It's just retracing. Pulls back a little. Up here, same thing. 15 minutes says retracing. It pulled back. And then we get yet another buy here, but it was afternoon. So we're not buying on that signal, right? So you'll take your tool and move it here. This is the standard position tool. Once you get this set up on your entry price and your stop price, where you're putting your stop, you're going to double click it. You're going to come to inputs, and down here it says 150. So what do we do here? If we want 2-to-1, well, we put 300 right there. And that gives us our 2-to-1. Okay. But as you see, if this tool was over here when I took the trade, it goes beyond 2-to-1. Okay. And I have no idea what that's in relation to my trade. I don't know. I know when it, if this tool's on, I know when it came up here and hit the top of that, I'm at a 2-to-1. I'm getting 2 times the risk, okay, for my reward. Well, I see it goes beyond that. I don't know what that is. I can't quickly tell you. Is it 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1? I don't know, right? So that tool is okay, but I think this is better. So here's how mine's set up, and here's how we trade. So we take an entry, there's our stop, and wherever you move this tool, you'll notice it already moves your profit targets, right? So if where I'm at here, and this is my stop, that is 1-to-1 risk to reward. Okay. When it hits that level, the only thing we'll do, if you want to, you can either leave your stop where it is or move your stop halfway. Why would you move your stop halfway? Well, you just cut your risk in half, right? Let's say you put on 10 contracts, it moves up here, hits 1-to-1. You could move your stop halfway. I would never move it straight to break even. That's too close. You're too aggressive with your stop trail. Okay. So I would move it halfway, or you leave it out. So if you move it halfway, what did you just do? You cut your risk in half, which is great. That's part of your trade management. You just cut your risk in half on the trade. So because if it pulls back and hits your stop, I'd rather be stopped out here than back here, correct? Deeper stop, you're losing more money. When it goes up to hit the second level, okay, remember they match. So whatever you pull this, that is a 1-to-1. This is your 2-to-1. It hits 2-to-1. Now here's what we do there. You put on 10, you had your stop here. When it hit 1-to-1, you moved your stop halfway. When it hit 2-to-1, you're closing out 8 of the 10. This is just how we trade it. So it hits 2-to-1, you're closing out 8 of your contracts at a 2 times your risk level. That's great, right? It is. Because what if it just turns and reverses, right? So you not only close out the 8, but you pull your stop to break even. You do those two things. So again, when it hits 1-to-1, all you do is move a stop. You don't close out anything. You move your stop if you want to. You either leave it there or you move it halfway. That's your choice when it hits 1-to-1. When it hits 2-to-1, that's when you're closing out. That's when you want to capitalize on the profit. The market's going to give you profit. You need to take the profit. Okay, take part of the profit. So what we do is we close out 8 of the 10, leave 2 runners on, and at that point, move your stop to break even. So at that point, you've locked in 8 contracts at 2 times your risk, your initial risk. And by the way, locking in 8 at 2 times your risk would actually cover the other if you left your stop where it was, but we don't. We move it to break even. Okay. Then what you do is every time it hits the next level, when it comes up and hits this level, our stop's here at break even. We move it up 1. Hits the next level, we move our stop up 1. We trail our stop that way. Okay. So what it did was it hit 2 times. You closed out 8. You have 2 runners on with your stop at break even. It comes back down. We get a signal that says it's retracing. Now here's how it works. When you get a buy or sell signal, you can normally look to the left and see a retracement, see a pullback. So when this signal came to buy, look to the left. There was a downward move. That's why my retracement down line's there. When this signal came in and said to buy, look to the left. Yep, we had a downward move. So it signals on retracement breaks as close as it can get. Okay. So these were 2 really good signals that happened on at 2 like perfect setups. Again, why? Well, we're trading with the 4-hour time frame, and the 15-minute 1 hour is coming back in line with it. Okay. Here, the 15-minute fell out of line, went red, so we're getting a pullback. And then here, the 15-minute pulls back in line with the 1 hour and 4 hour. That's what we want. We're trading with the trend, right? Okay. So then it goes up, hits 1-to-1. We just move our stop halfway, minimizing our risk, cutting our risk in half. Goes up and hits 2 times our risk level. We're closing out 8, and we're moving stop where? to break even. Now we still have 2 runners on here. So we just closed out 8. We added 10 here, closed out 8 of that, right? Now we have 4 runners on with our stop to break even on these 2 runners. And that makes our stop over here, we're at 2 times our risk level on these 2 runners. Okay, so right now, the 2 runners that we have on from this trade, right now at that price point where we have locked in, they would close out at the same price as the 8, right? But now we have 4 runners on. Okay, it hit take profit, or it hit the 2 times level, so we did move our stop to break even. Comes back, moves on. We're waiting for it to hit this right here. This is 2 times the risk. This is 3 times the risk. When it hits that, what do? We move our stop. So over here, it hit that level. Well, what do? We move our stop from break even to here. Some people move it and follow one back, just one stop back, one level back. Okay. So that's how you use the tool. So I love this. I'm going to show you how to set it up. Basically, the tool's already in your chart. It is the Fibonacci retracement tool. Look at all those beautiful colors, right? So it's set up based off of the fib levels. Well, if you're not trading fib, I used to trade fib levels back in the past. If you're not using it, then, and if you are using it even, you're familiar with the tool. So I'm going to show you how to set it up because it is not like this. You'll see it's like this, right? So here's how you set it up. Go into settings. The way the fib tool's set up is there would be your low. This would be your high of a swing. And then these are called retracement levels. You look for, in this case, Bitcoin to pull back, bounce on one of those levels, you trade it, and there's your targets. Those are fib targets, fib extension targets, right? So we're going to use a little different. So here's how this is set up in here. The 0 point. 0 is down here where it says 0. That is going to be your stop, okay? You can change that line if you want to, like a red color. And you don't do anything else with it. We have all these one right here. 1 is what? Well, 1 is the entry price. That's where you're going to enter when you get a signal, okay? So you have your stop, you have your enter. Does it look like anything else? Kind of looks like that tool there, starting to, right? All these levels in the middle, we're going to take them out. We don't need them, right? So those are the levels between, over here, 0 and 1. There's 0, there's 1. Everything in between, and here's how it goes. It goes back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's how this tool works, the settings. So it goes back and forth. So all we have to do is everything between the 1 and 0, we're going to shut down. So we're going to shut down these 5 levels, and there you go. So now it's starting to look like this tool over here, right? And that's only because it is. I already have my settings set by default, and this is how I did it. Now we need to change all this. So we're not using fib extension levels. So we don't want the 1.618, okay? We don't want the 2.618. We don't want those levels. We want a 1-to-1 ratio, 2-to-1 ratio, 3-to-1 ratio. That's what we want on the tool. So it's pretty simple. We have 0, we have 1. What's the next number? It's going to be a 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Now you can change these in here. I can change that to a 2 or whatever. What I did was, since this says 1, I basically went down and check your multiple levels. There's 1, 2. So this would be 2 times your risk, right? We're going to change it to a 2. And that puts that at 2 times your risk. Then we want 3 times. We want 4. We want 5. We want 6. And you can go on and make 7, 8, 9 for the days it really trends. You can have those as well. I'm not going to go make you suffer through that. What did I do here? I didn't do the 5. All right, so now we set the levels up, okay? But what we need now is I got to shut down these, the 1.6 and that 3.8. So now it's even looking more like that. We just have to color them now, okay? So here's all you got to do. Come in here, click on the color. I use this one. It's just the color I picked. It's the one above the dark green. And then I go to 39. You can do 40, 28. It just depends on you. Play around with it. Pick what you want. So I'll start at the bottom. If you start at the bottom, you can just click on that and click 39 and then just click on the next color. If you click on the top, you actually got to close the box and go back and open the other one. So this is the easiest way. Start at the bottom. And yes, I'm going to do each one of these. So we're set up. Did I get 39? Nope, that's 3,000 something. We don't want that. All right, so one more, and that's 39. Whoop, I didn't color that green, did I? There we go. All right, what did we do? Well, I colored that first one. We don't want that. There we go. I accidentally colored the first one. Now what's it look like? It looks like a good position tool that has multiple take profit levels, right? Now we're not done setting it up. There's certain things I like on mine. I'm just going to show you what they are. We have the levels. This is our stop. This is our entry. This right here, even though it says 2, it's 1-to-1, right? And the only thing we do at 1-to-1 is move our stop halfway. When it hits 2-to-1, we're going to close out partial, move our stop to break even, right? So we have the levels marked. I like the price point. See the prices next to the levels? Why would you want those? This is where this tool, I think, supersedes, way surpasses the position tool. Those are take profit levels. What can I do with those? Well, if I'm in with 10 contracts and I'm going to close out 8 when it hits the 2 times risk level right here, I can put a limit order in, right? If I know I'm going to close 8 when it hits this level, why would I not use an order to close out the 8 for me? Let's automate that part. So I get in the trade here. I have plenty of time. Look at all this time we got in here. It's moving. Those are 3-minute candles. How much time do you need? I mean, there's like 10 candles in there. What is it? That's 30 minutes, right? Yeah, this is, we got in at 8. That's an hour right there. What time did we get in? 8 o'clock signal. I mean, we're at 9 o'clock right here, right? So you have, that's an hour. So while you're waiting, let's be productive. And if I know I'm going to close out 8 when it hits this price point, okay, well, the price is right there. All I got to do is go put an order in at that price, okay? Or you come in here and use this, right? You click off the side and pull the order up, place the trade. You put your crosshairs back on the chart. I'm not going to do it. I like the arrow on there so you guys can see what I'm pointing at without the crosshairs getting in. But you can come in and move the crosshairs up. Once it meets that price, go ahead and click the plus over here, and you're placing your trade to close out 8. Why would you want to do that? Well, if I know that's my plan, why not automate it? Why not put in an order to close out 8 when it hits it? Now, at that point, all I have to do, because if you don't, here's what you have to do. If you don't, when it comes up here, you have 2 things you got to do. You got to close out 8, and then you have to move your stop to break even. Okay, not a big deal. Close out the 8 first, move your stop. It's okay. You got time, right? But if I automate it, here's 2 things you can do. You can set an alarm on it as well. So I place a trade here at this price level to close out 8. and I also place an alarm on that level, well, then I could be doing what? I don't know, whatever you do while you're at your desk trading, when you get distracted, when you need to be brought back into reality of what your trade's doing, right? You set the 8 to come off there and you set an alarm. When that alarm goes off, guess what happened? Your 8's gone. You closed out 8. You locked in 2 times your risk level on 8 contracts. And all you have to do at that point is come back to the computer and move your stop from halfway to break even. That's it. You don't even have to close out trade. Done for you, right? Comes back down. We had a 15-minute retracement signal, which means pullback. Then we had a signal where the 15-minute, 1 hour, and 4 hour are all in a line. We're going to buy because remember, we're only buying so far because we were bullish from the start on the 4 hour. So there's a signal to buy. So we would buy on that trade, go in with another 10. What are we going to do? Well, we're looking for 2 times our risk level. So when we buy, we put our stop here and we put an order up here at that price point. So the price point's on there, right? To close out 8. Set an alarm. And when it goes and hits that level, what happens? Your alarm goes off because you might have got distracted. The TV might be on. You might be going through email, whatever. You might have your charts covered up. I don't know. It happens. You might be on the other side of the room. I mean, I got a TV in this room, couch, everything in my office. So I might be across the room. Well, setting that alarm, then when that alarm goes off, you know that, and you can set up alarms now in TradingView with different volumes, separate alarms. They've just added that feature recently. So close out 8, and then all you have to do is come back to the computer. You got time. Come back to the computer, move your stop to break even. Okay. And what that's done though so far is we've closed out 8 here. We already closed out 8 here on this one. We have 2 runners on. We just closed out 8 on this one. We have 2 runners on here. So right now we have 4 runners. And the runners are just a bank bonus, a bigger bonus. Doesn't always work out. Some days they turn and just reverse and the runners stop out or break even. But when you moved your stop on this trade, when we hit take profit there, 2 times risk, closed out 8, and you moved your stop to break even, what did you do? Well, when you moved your stop to break even on the 4 contracts that are open, that stop level is at 2 times here. So on 2 of those 4 contracts, they are now at this level where your stop is. They are now at 2 to 1. 2 times your risk level. Those 2 runners. So if it pulls back and closes out, you will, on this trade with the 2 runners, you'll get stopped out at break even. But over here, it's really stopping those 2 runners out at 2 times the risk level. So profitable. So that makes this whole 10 contract trade profitable. 2 times. Can't go back. Okay. Then again, we're looking at for it to do what? Hit the next level. Hit the next level. So when it hits the next level, what do? We move our stop up. Well, when you move your stop up here, what does that do to this trade? You just moved your stop up to 3 times the risk level over here. So, and that's what happened. It came up and hit over here. So overall, you'll see where it hit. And there's a, let me uncover it here because it's kind of covered. Not that. Sorry, guys. Need to grab it out here and move this out of the way. So when it came over here and hit, and notice how the levels actually kind of synced up. All right. So when it hit over here and hit my 4-hour support and resistance level, okay, we mark these every night, every day before you trade. You should look at the 4-hour time frame and mark support resistance levels, zones, and trend lines. That's just, you need to get in the habit. We need to be aware. Why would I want to be aware of a 4-hour support and resistance level? Well, this is why. That's where it turned. Okay. Why would I want to be aware of a 4-hour zone? Well, this is why. It came down and turned, right? That's why you want them. So ultimately, though, it hit this level, which is 2 times, 3 times. So this was a 3-time hit here. And then this is 2 times, 3, 4, and 5. 5 times your risk level, okay, on that trade. So that's why I like leaving these prices on there. And that's the way it's set up over here. So we're going to double click that. So I like leaving them. You don't have to leave this dashed part, the dashed line. If you want to take it off, hit that trend line, closes that off. Come down to the bottom. In the bottom, here's where you mess with your numbers here, okay, the values. So you'll see it says levels, values. If I click on that, it takes off the number, the 0, the 1, 2, 3. Okay, if you don't want those on, click that levels, it takes them off. Okay, I like leaving mine on. The other is prices. There's your prices. If you click on this, it takes your prices off. Well, I want the prices on there because if I'm going to place a trade at the second level, 2 times my risk level, if I'm going to set a trade to pull off part of my position, I need to know what the price is. I can quickly see it. It's already on the tool. I don't have to do a thing. The only thing I like to do is this right here. Take my labels and put them in the center. I like them to be in the center of the tool. Okay. And I'm just going to call this a position tool. It's just a modified position tool is all it is. Okay. Text here in the middle. That doesn't really do anything as far as we're concerned. And then you can always change the font size if you want those a little bigger. Okay. I mean, you can go as big as you want, right? So it's really up to you how big you want those. We're not going to touch that button as well. And then you guys can mess around with everything else, but ultimately you've done all you can to the tool. That's it. There's really not much else you can do to this. So once you've done everything, click on template, click on save as, okay? And then type in, whatever you want. Now I have to type in trading levels 2 because I've already made one up. Trading levels 2 and then hit save. Okay, now it's saved. So now what it's going to do is the next time you go, pick the fib tool and pull it. There you go. It's all set up for you, okay? And you start from the entry price and pull away is how you use this, right? I don't know if you saw that. So let's grab it again. So I'm going to come to the entry price here and then pull to your stop level. And that's how you get there, all right? Get it in the right direction. So that's how it's set up. It's pretty simple to do. I think you guys will like using it. Again, it gives you target prices right on the chart that you can use. And that's what I have set up on mine. So mine just might look a little different. Again, you're going to tweak the colors or whatever to your needs. I'm going to set mine back to what it is. Mine just says trades. And that's how mine's set up. And I got mine set up kind of reverse on there. That's why it popped up upside down. But there it is, right? And again, if you don't want that trend line is how it's listed, just take it off, right? So that's all I got. I hope you guys, like this. It is a good tool to use. I don't know what you want to call it. We can call it a modified, position tool. Because like I said, the position tool is just limited. It only gives you that one target. This gives you multiple targets. As I look at my screen, I think I've got even more than that on I've got mine set up to 9. I went down that whole left column, in the tool under 1, and I just went 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down to 9. So mine actually has 9 levels. Does it ever get there? It does get there once in a while. Okay. So you don't have to set up that many if you don't want. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like using the tool that way. I do recommend setting it up. I think it's pretty powerful because it does have the multiple levels on it, as well as when you want to close partial. You know when you want to move your stop. Again, when it hits the 1-to-1 level, 1 times your risk level, move your stop halfway. Then you just cut your risk in half. When it hits the second level, you are at 2 times your risk level. Close out partial, move your stop to break even. But you can see it easier. You're not looking for further targets. So with the normal position tool, I used to mark it 2-to-1, right? And then once it hit the 2-to-1 level, I had to readjust the tool. I had to go in and change the profit target number to make it 3-to-1 and 4-to-1 and so on. And I was putting horizontal lines on there. So there was a lot of manual work in there. This is automated. It's automatic. It's already there. So anyways, don't forget to, if you know and your rules say that you are closing out part of your trade at a 2-to-1 risk to reward level, you're going to set a limit order to close out 8. Okay. And if you're going to close one of your 2 runners, let's say you do 10 on, close out 8. If you're going to close one of the 2 runners at a 3-time risk level, then you're going to put another trade too there. And you can set those up way ahead of time. You got plenty of time, right? So I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe to my YouTube, and I will see you in the markets.